Hello friends, and welcome back to our channel. Buying a home is an exciting time in your life, and buying your first home is a huge accomplishment. However, there are some things you need to be aware of. No matter what market you go into, there will be challenges you'll face as a buyer. Purchasing a home is the biggest investment you'll ever make, and there's so much that goes into a real estate transaction. You definitely want to make sure you're doing it right.
So if you're considering purchasing a home, then this video is for you. We're going to let you in on some of the biggest mistakes buyers make, and we're going to give you some of the tips that you need to know to avoid making the same mistakes and how to keep more money in your pocket, so stay tuned.
If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything about living, eating, sleeping, working, and playing in Northern Utah, then subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market here in Northern Utah.
We are Sloan and Kim Peterson with the Peterson Group. We've been in the real estate business for 10 years, and every day we help people just like you looking to buy and sell in the Northern Utah area, and we absolutely love it. Whether you are moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. All the information is in the description below, so we can help you make that smooth move here in Northern Utah. Now let's go ahead and get into it.
Okay, so the first mistake we see buyers make all the time is not getting pre-approved for a loan until they find the house they want. There are so many reasons to get pre-approved well before you're ready to find a home, and we actually recommend 3 to 6 months before actually starting your home search. One reason for this is so that you can really know your budget and where you're comfortable purchasing.
Another reason is that if you do have any sort of credit blemishes, they can be fixed before you are ready to go ahead and make an offer. These aren't necessarily even bad blemishes, but maybe your interest rate could be just a little bit lower if you raised your credit score even by just 10 points. So in terms of your borrowing power, having a good understanding of what that looks like is really essential to moving quickly when you do find that home of your dreams. We do always tell all of our clients or people that we're working with is that it's good to have a roadmap so you know exactly what you could be doing instead of just shooting at the dark.
Absolutely. Along with the first one is getting pre-approved with a credit union or bank versus a mortgage broker. Now, it isn't necessarily bad to get pre-approved with your credit union or bank if you meet the qualifications. But we also always suggest getting a second opinion with a local mortgage broker. The reason for this is because mortgage brokers can shop a ton of different options, so they likely can get you a better interest rate than your bank or credit union, which can only use their in-house investors and programs. Lots of times, mortgage brokers have the same programs and incentives, and sometimes they even have extra ones that could work really well for you in your situation.
Another reason that we recommend that you do get at the very minimum a second opinion is because a bank or a credit union will tell you yes or a no, where a mortgage broker can actually help you get to where you need to be to get pre-approved. Sometimes with just a few small tweaks to your credit. We've had clients get approved or pre-approved for up to $25,000 more just by talking to our local mortgage broker, so it really can make a big difference in your situation.
And we understand that talking to a lender is oftentimes the most scary part of the transaction, so we get why people put that off. And sometimes it seems easier to go to your bank or credit union because they have all your information, but our local mortgage broker is great and she will help you through the entire process.
Yeah, and she has a whole scenario program that basically tells her, like, if you do this, then this will happen. And so she knows exactly, like, if you pay off a card or open up a credit card, whatever you're doing, she can know what it's going to do as far as affecting your credit score.
Okay, so the third mistake we see is not budgeting for the correct amount to purchase a house. Now, this is another reason why it's essential to speak with a lender. While it's a myth that you need 20% down to purchase a home, there may definitely be advantages to your monthly payment to put a larger sum down. We have a preferred lender we work with that will consult with you on all your options, but you want to make sure whoever you are choosing to work with is telling you what every scenario looks like. In the current market, we definitely are able to at least get some of your closing costs paid for, but that's not the case in every market or even with every house. So knowing exactly what you'll need in down payment money and closing costs, and then planning to use that money is essential. There are so many programs and negotiations that we use to help you keep the most money in your pocket, but we'd rather you have that saved and not need it than vice versa.
All right, so number 4, and going off that last one, and another mistake that we see is actually waiting to purchase because you're saving a larger down payment. Sometimes trying to put too much down can price you right out of the market, especially when home prices are increasing increasing at fast rates. Anyone that hasn't bought in the last years for sure knows that it's impossible to outsave the market, and that's really going to be true in every market. With the average equity gain at 6% in Utah year over year, most people really can't save an extra 6% on top of what they are trying to save to get into a home, so you'll likely never catch up. Our advice would be to always talk to our preferred mortgage broker and to go with the minimum down payment you can so that you can actually get into a home as soon as possible, where your house can then act as your savings account towards the next purchase of your home, which we will go into a bit more in a later video.
Now, another big mistake is being indecisive. Now, you don't have to know every single thing you want in a home when you first get started, and that list will definitely change as you look for homes. But having a good idea of what you absolutely have to have in a home will help you decide when you're ready to make an offer. Now, in some markets, you can definitely take a little longer to decide whether you want to put in an offer on a home or not. But even in a buyer's market, there is the possibility of someone else moving in on your dream home quicker than you. I mean, if it's your dream home, it's likely going to appeal to somebody else.
All right, so if you do have a solid foundation of really knowing what you need in a home, that will actually help you when you have found the right one. So that is why one of our tips is, if you have trouble making decisions, especially if you're giving too many options, really just have your real estate professional just dial down that list a bit of must-haves and then only show you the homes that have those things in it, especially in a market like we're in right now, where you have a ton of options.
Yeah, and I just want to reiterate what Sloan said. A lot of times we do have buyers that are like, oh, it's the first home I've seen, I can't put an offer in on it. But honestly, that isn't the first home you've seen. You've been looking online for months. When you first start thinking about a home, we know that you've been looking at houses. So it's like you know what you like in a house and trust that you know what you like in a house.
Yeah, and that really, a lot of our buyers that choose to pass on that first house, they end up finding something they still love, but they really a lot of times have regret of not making an offer and getting that first house. So if you find it, when you know what you're looking for and you find that, then just go ahead and take action on that.
That brings us to number 6, and that's being really honest with your team of wealth building experts. If you know of something that may affect your credit, then talk to your lender about it so that you can have a plan before things get out of hand. If you really hate something about a house, let your real estate professional know. We promise we aren't offended. We want to know everything you really like and hate about a house so we can really dial down that dream home for you. Something to also know is that it's totally okay to change your mind. We've had clients tell us they absolutely do not want a split entry house, and then they sent us a property to look at that ended up buying that split entry house. It's okay to change your criteria. Just make sure to always communicate that with your real estate professional honestly and openly.
All right, and the 7th mistake we see is just to have realistic expectations. So most first-time home buyers we know will buy what we refer to as a stepping stone house. This house likely isn't your dream home, and you're really not planning to stay there for more than 3 to 5 years. What this house allows you to actually do is to gain equity that you can then roll into a higher priced home. Now, a lot of people, depending on their circumstance, have to do this a few times before they're able to purchase their dream home. And depending on what that dream home looks like, maybe you only have to do that 1 or 2 times, but likely everyone will at least need one stepping stone house.
Now, a great stepping stone house is usually a townhome or a very tiny bungalow or older house that you can then start trading up as your family grows or your needs change. Starting out with a mindset that you're going to go straight into everything you want is both unrealistic and will likely set you up for disappointment. You'll see a lot of great homes that you can afford that you pass on because you are wishing for something that you actually can't afford. Again, having an open conversation with your real estate professional about the few things that are non-negotiable, and oftentimes you'll be able to find you the perfect house.
All right, so number 8, the last mistake we see home buyers make is what we call the do nots when buying a home. And this is everything that you shouldn't do once you've started the process of actually purchasing a home.
Yeah, and that's whether you're under contract or you've just gotten pre-approved.
Yes.
Do not apply for or open any new credit cards unless you've spoken with your lender. Always ask your lender before opening any new lines of credit.
So do not close any existing credit cards. And now this one might sound strange, but sometimes closing accounts can ding your credit. So make sure you aren't doing anything to alter your credit once you are pre-approved and actually looking for that home.
Do not change jobs during the process of buying a house. And the funny thing is, we actually had a client do this. There's some great friends of ours. We love them. But he ended up taking a higher paying job thinking like, I'm making more money, so what's the big deal? Like literally a day before closing. Luckily, his brother worked at that same place in the HR and he was able to undo that before it really affected his home purchase. But don't change jobs, even if it's more money, as the lender needs 2 paychecks in order to be able to qualify you for that loan.
All right, so do not go out and finance new furniture and appliances until your loan has been recorded. We get it, it's exciting to purchase a new home, and you're going to want all new things when you do that likely. But adding any amount of credit to your account can cause an issue, much less any major purchases. Wait to buy all of your furniture for your new house until you actually have keys in hand, and again,
do not buy a new car. Any major purchase can really affect your qualifying ratios, and if you're already under contract on a house, can really cause you to lose the house.
Alright, so the next do not, especially if you're buying and selling at the same time, is to do not skip a payment or be late on any payments. A skipped payment can greatly affect your credit score for at least a year, especially like I said if it's a mortgage one, so make sure that you are keeping up to date with all of your payments, particularly when you're purchasing a home. The lender is going to pull a final credit check just prior to you closing on your house, so make sure that your credit does stay the same as it did the entire process.
Do not spend your savings and do not move any money around at all. All money in a real estate transaction has to be sourced. So moving money in and out of accounts can actually make it so that you can't use that money towards a home purchase. So basically, the same lady that went out and bought an $80,000 truck in cash also received like $100,000 into her account from the sale of her son's home. So she had borrowed her son money years and years ago to purchase his first home, and he had sold it and was now paying her back. Well, that money coming into her account is flagged whenever you're under contract, and so that money had to be sourced, and again has to delay closing so that we can source that money. So just make sure in a real estate transaction when you're under contract, you're not moving big amounts of money in and out of an account.
All right, so those are our top mistakes that we see our buyers making, and if we can help you avoid them, then your buying process will be a lot more enjoyable. We hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Picking where you'll call home is an important decision, and we would love to help you make that smooth transition here to Northern Utah.
If you're looking to purchase in the Northern Utah area, we would love to help you out. Give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. And until next time, we're keeping it real. Estate.